Okay, so priming my face, I'll be using Smashbox Primer Water with the Hylamide HA Blur. For foundation, I have used Pro Longwear as well as Smashbox. I'll have the details listed down below for your reference. Here I'm using MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in the shade Soft Ochre to prime my eyes. And for this tutorial, we'll be using the Kat Von D's Shade and Light palette. Starting with this light yellow shade, I'm just going to use this shade to set my primer in place. You can use any powder. Next, for this peachy shade as my transition in the crease, I'm just going to use Anastasia Beverly Hills brush. Later on, I will be switching on to a more fluffier blending brush. As you can see over here, I believe it's Morphe M441. Just go back and forth in a windshield wiper motion until you reach your desired intensity. Keep going back and forth. Next, using this light brown shade from the palette, I'll be going into just below where I applied my transition shade directly in the crease. Again, keep on going until you get the right intensity. It's very important to use good transition shades so that you get a really seamless look and you don't get any harsh lines in your eye makeup. You don't want harsh lines, it does not look flattering. Here again, as you can see, I'm doing the same thing as we did on the other eye, just using the same light brown shade and going back and forth. Now using this dark brown shade, and using a stiffer blending brush. This is again from Anastasia Beverly Hills, the brush that comes in their eye palette. I really like those brushes because they perform very well. Here, as you can see, I'm deepening up the crease using that dark brown shade. Again, using the same windshield wiper motion of going back and forth, back and forth. Keep doing this until you reach your desired consistency or desired darkness that you are going for in the crease area. Now switching to Morphe M441 with no additional products on the brush. I'm just going to run it again back and forth just to make sure everything is well blended. Now using any kohl liner, here I'm using the Clinique Swick liner in Intense Black. Just line your upper line. You don't have to be perfect in this because we will be smudging it out later. Here you can see I'm just using the same smudger that comes with the pencil liner to smudge out the line roughly. Now using this black shade from the Kat Von D's eyeshadow palette, I'll be using the other side of the Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, the flat side, to put the shade on my eyes. You can use any flat shader brush that you have. Just make sure that you tap off the excess because you don't want any kind of fallouts under your eyes. Now using the same brush from Anastasia, I'm using the other side, the fluffy blending side, to blend out the harsh lines of the black eyeshadow. Black can often be very difficult to blend out, so in the next step we'll be using these two shades from the Kat Von D palette, two brown shades, to blend the black in the crease well. You don't want a very harsh line of black appearing in the crease, so using these two brown shades will actually give us a very seamless kind of a blend. So just keep going back and forth, back and forth. This will take time, so don't lose your patience. Keep going back and forth, apply the shades, blend it out until you reach the desired intensity as well as the look that you're going for. Here, as you can see, I have applied black shade again on my eyelids, and then again using the same two brown shades from the Kat Von D palette, I am blending out the harsh edges until I get a very seamless blend. So this is how it should look when both of your eyes are done. Next, using just some cotton rounds, or you can use a tissue paper like I'm doing, just to dab out and just remove the fallouts if you have had any. Now, before going on my concealer, I'll be correcting the darkness around under my eyes. I'm using the Bobbi Brown's Dark Peach Color Corrector to do so. This is my favorite color corrector of all time, and it works perfectly. It's not very creamy, it does not crease at all, and works perfectly fine. You can see the difference between both the eyes. It's remarkable. So this is definitely a must-have for me. Next, for my concealer, I'll be using another favorite, MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NC42. As you can see, I'm just using a clean finger to dab on the product under my eyes. Now, if you see, I'm not taking it, under my temples. I'm just stopping it right where my eyebrows end. This is for a reason. If you have round face like me, you don't want to make your face even broader by taking the concealer down below your temples and towards the side of your ears. I'll also be using whatever left on my hand around the sides of my nose, just to cover some redness over there. Next, using a damp beauty blender, I'm just using it to blend out my concealer. I love the beauty blender to blend out concealer because it just looks so natural. Next, to set my concealer, I'm using RCMA's No Color Powder. This has been a favorite since last year. It's absolutely amazing powder. It sets the concealer well. It does not, it makes it creaseless, and it gives a flawless finish. So if you have not tried this powder, definitely check it out. It's absolutely amazing. Now, while the concealer is setting, I'll be doing some contouring, and my favorite right now is the Hoola bronzer. It's the perfect shade. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, and it looks very, very natural, as you can see over here. So I'm just using the brush that comes with the Hoola bronzer. It's again a very, very good brush, and the shape is perfect to actually place the contour in shape. Again, as you can see over here, I'm not going to take the contour to the top of my forehead, because that will again enclose my forehead and make my face shape even round, and I don't want it to be round. Just following the same steps on the other side of my cheek, and making sure the blend is even on both the sides. I'll also be taking down the contour on my jawline and below my uh, chin area to hide that double chin, as you can see. It also gives a really nice sharp edge to your skin, or to your face rather. Now, just using a fluffy blending brush, or any kind of a brush that you use, just to remove the excess of the RCMA powder and to make sure everything is set well. The brush that I'm using over here is from Bobbi Brown. This is another important step for me. I just like to go over the concealer and the powder with a damp beauty blender. Next, for my blush, I'm going to use the Tarte Exposed blush. This is another favorite of mine, especially for smoky eyes, because it's such a natural looking blush, and it just goes well with any kind of looks, especially any kind of smoky eyes. Now, to just set the rest of my face, I'm using my Cover FX Mineral Foundation. This is in the shade G50. This is a very lightweight foundation. It's not very high coverage, so I do like it a lot. Next, I'll be using the same Clinique eyeliner on my waterline. Now, using a small smudge brush, I believe this is E36 from Morphe, and using the same black eyeshadow, I'm just going to smudge out the black eyeliner. Next, using the last two dark brown shades that we used in our crease, I'm going to use that to even further blend out the black eyeshadow under my eyes, and just to make sure the under eye area looks seamless. Next, for that highlight, I'm going to use my all-time favorite, that's the Becca's Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Champagne Pop. This is a beautiful highlighter. If you are warm skin tone like me, you need this highlighter in your life. You can see how beautiful it looks across my skin, and it just pops. I also be taking the highlighter above my eyebrows and below my brows, just to lift my brows even further. Here I'm repeating the same steps on the other side. I also will use the same highlight as my inner corner highlight. I think it looks lovely, and it just matches everything very well. Next, for my lips, I'm using a combo of Colourpop and MAC. The lip liner is Colourpop Tootsie, is another one of my favorites, and the lipstick is a MAC Mineralized Rich lipstick in the shade Touch the Earth. It's a beautiful nude shade, and it looks really flattering on my skin tone. So yeah, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed the look, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.